Let me show you how to create a free, beautiful, professional invoice in Adobe Express. Start by going into express.adobe.com. From the search bar, type Invoice. Then you can select any template you like. All templates are completely editable and you can customize them to fit your needs. First, set the invoice colors to match your branding. Click on Colors. Under Current Colors, you will see the colors this template is using. You can click on this icon to change the color. For example, you can turn black into this blue, or you can select the custom color from the color picker. If you don't know what colors to use, you can click on the shuffle icon to generate different color combinations based on the current colors. I like the original colors, so I'll hit the undo button several times to return to the original invoice template. But I will make one change. I'll incorporate the blue from my company logo. Next, let's work on organizing the invoice content to make it easier to edit. When you click on the template, you will notice that everything is grouped, which is not necessarily bad, but to organize things better, we will ungroup the content. When you click on these dividers, you will see that these are images. Look at the label on the top right when you select an object to confirm. I think using shapes will give us better results and more flexibility when editing content. For now, simply delete these images by pressing the backspace key on Windows. That's the delete key on the Mac. Do the same thing for the rest of the images that create these dividers. If you see a group, click on this Ungroup button and continue deleting the images. You can collapse a panel to have more room to work with. The current invoice is a bit dark. You can change the background color by clicking on the space, then select white to make it brighter. Next, you can add your company logo. But first, delete the placeholders on top. Select the text and tap on the delete key. Then, ungroup this shape and delete it as well. You can import your logo using two methods. First, you can click on the Photos tab and upload an image from your computer. But better yet, if you go into the Logos tab, you can click on this plus icon to import a logo and save it for future projects. I've already saved my company logo, so I can simply click on it to place it into my invoice template. If need be, you can resize your logo. I don't need to do that in this case, the original size works great. Now you can adjust the headline. This text box is in a group and that's okay, no need to ungroup. You can double click on it to enter the edit mode. From this box, you can change the name. I'll type my name, Jesus Ramirez. Do the same thing for the headline, but I'll use my company name instead. Photoshop Training Channel. Notice that Adobe Express automatically resizes the text to fit the text box. Let's now add the dividers using shapes. Click on the shapes icon and from basic shapes, choose this line. Drag it up and place it into position. Then use this slider to reduce the thickness to 4. Next, click on this icon to change the color to a lighter gray. Now we'll create more room to add more line items to the invoice. Click on the invoice information and drag it up. Do the same thing for the contact information. But first, select both objects by holding the Shift key as you click on them, and click on the group icon to group them and treat them as a single unit. You can now drag both up at the same time and keep them aligned. Let's now add another divider. You can duplicate an object by clicking on this icon or using the keyboard shortcut Control-D on Windows, that's Command-D on the Mac. But there's a much faster and more efficient way. Hover over your object. When you see the 4-sided arrow, hold Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, and drag down. Now you have a duplicate of this divider. Then you can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to nudge the object into position, and use the controls over the shape to resize it. Next, let's work on adding more line items to the template. We'll create more room first. Select the table heading background, hold Shift, and click on every table heading. When they're all selected, click on Group, and tap on the up arrow key to move the group up. If you hold the Shift key as you tap the arrow keys, you'll move in larger increments. This next step might seem counterintuitive, but it will make sense in a moment. Delete all the text boxes in the bottom row. Now that you only have one row, go into the Shapes tab and select the square. Then place it over the text and use the controls to expand the width. This box will cover the text because the box is on top of the layer stack. To reveal the text below, go into the Layers panel and drag this layer down just above the background. When you release, the text should appear. Now that you can see the text, adjust the height and change the color. Make the first row white. Then hold Shift and click on all individual text boxes to select everything in this row, including the background shape, and place it into a group by clicking on the group button. Move it up by holding the Shift key and tapping on the up arrow key. Next, hover over the group. When you see the four-sided arrow, hold Alt or Option and drag down to duplicate. Now double-click to go back into the shape. Change the fill color to gray to create alternating color rows. Then select both rows by clicking on them while holding Shift and drag down as you hold Alt or Option to duplicate the rows. Next, let's replace the bottom shape on the bottom part of the invoice. Select the shape and delete it. From the Shapes panel, create a new square. Then reposition and resize the square. Unfortunately, this is the shortest a square can be, but you can drag it down below the page to create the illusion that this is a thinner line. Then you can click on the fill swatch to change the color. I'll make it orange. To add custom text, click on the text icon and then click on Add Your Text. You can then reposition the text box and resize it to fit your template. Then use the controls on the right to adjust the look and style. Also, you can use these text templates. For example, search for the words "thank you." From the results, select any of these pre-designed editable text boxes. You can then move and resize it, and you can double-click on it to edit the text. This text box controls the word "you," and this one controls the word "thank." You can change these to anything you like. Once you're done editing your template, you can click on the download button and save it as a PDF. But better yet, if you're a member of the Creative Cloud, you can click on Share and choose Make Template. This will save your invoice as a template in a Creative Cloud library. You can then reuse it at any time to create new professional invoices. If you found this video useful, give us a like and subscribe.